ten plus years ago, I was not only being creative, but I was drinking as well. So I had alcohol in my life. So the thing is that that's one thing that I know about myself now, that I'm able to live and operate in my creative and purpose-driven mission, clear-minded,
Yeah.
clear-minded. Then I was still operating, but I was operating in a mindset that I could still create, but without that substance, I'm able to create on a whole nother level now.
Let me just ask you about the the emotional and spiritual battles that you may be having with when you face people who say KKK is like that's something negative, but you're turning it to a positive and unifying brand. What are you facing when those kind of situations show up?
The great thing about it is that I end up educating people about the KKK. So in my back to schools, which is another leg of the Kool Kolored Kid brand, it's called 100 Pairs to Give, where
Yeah.
it's a community-based initiative where we empower students before they go back to school. I'll go a little bit more into that, but how I counteract the negativity when I'm faced with people downplaying the Kool Kolored Kid is that then I hit them with education. There's a story everywhere in finding the cool in you and understanding the power that you have whenever you walk into a room. There's a story everywhere, not only in this brand, but in each person that wears the clothing.
Sometimes purpose shows up in the middle of the mess, when life feels heavy and the only way forward is to stand for something bigger than yourself. Randall Law knows that story well. His journey wasn't perfect, but it was powerful. From the struggle came color, from recovery came vision. What started as survival became a movement. The Kool Kolored Kid Generation, using creativity, culture, and apparel to spark confidence, connection, and change. This is what happens when resilience turns into purpose and one man's healing inspires a generation to see themselves differently and powerfully. From struggle to strength, the art of purpose with Randall Law. Hey there. Look, my hope is that the ThriveWell Journey meets you exactly where you are and helps you rise into who you're here to be. It's 2025, and this is your year to thrive despite what the world is throwing at us. And our desire is that our conversations inspire you, bring clarity, and give you a reason to breathe deeper. So, our ask is that you take a moment to subscribe, download the episode, and follow us on your favorite RSS platform. Your support doesn't just help the show grow, it helps build a space that's rooted in your evolution. And that means everything to me and the TTJ team. Now, if you're ready to go beyond the episodes, come join our private ThriveWell Journey discussion group on Facebook. We're walking through a 22-week series built to anchor each week in intention, purpose, and meaningful connection. I do so look forward to hearing your voice and can't wait to see you in the group. But for right now, let's get into it. Randall, man. So as we were talking, it's been a long time, man.
Long time.
It's been a long time. We met, what was it, like 2014, 13?
I would
Somewhere
probably
around
say
there.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, I
Nah, was
remember
it 28? Nah, yeah, 28. Nah, you're right.
it
Because
was
West
somewhere
Coast
around
Topanga Mall.
Topanga Mall. Yeah, it was
Yep.
early 2000s, basically, right?
Yeah.
and
Crazy early
the
2000s.
and the wild thing is, I remember being at the Cheesecake Factory, and you had a vision. You were talking about what you're doing today, way back then,
Hmm.
and what was interesting about that for me now, and to have you on the podcast is you went from thought to in your mind to reality in the world. And the question I have for you right now is what's something you know about yourself now that you wish you would understand 10 years ago or would have understood 10 years ago?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. It's always good to connect with great individuals like yourself, West Coast to the East Coast to the West.
Yes.
It's always good to chop it back up. And the great thing about it is that you've always, even though we don't talk as often as we used to, I always feel like we never lost touch. So that's
Yeah.
the great thing about it after all these years. But to answer your question, you said, what do I have now and what I wish I had back then?
Yeah. What's something
Did I
you
have that
know
correct?
about yourself now that you wish you would have understood about yourself 10 years ago?
Okay, so 10 plus years ago, I was not only being creative, but I was drinking as well. So I had alcohol in my life. So the thing is that that's one thing that I know about myself now, that I'm able to live and operate in my creative and purpose driven mission, clear minded. Clear
Yeah.
minded. Then I was still operating, but I was operating in a mindset that I could still create, but without that substance, I'm able to create on a whole nother level now, in which I did not. I thought I was tapping into it, but now I'm like I'm in a nice spot. But I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So that's one thing.
You talk about, I see, people go through, the stages in life, right?
Mhm.
And that was a stage in your life. What was the transition from, are you not drinking anymore and you're in a sober space and the creativity is just flowing?
I'm in a sober space, sober minded space. The thing is that with it's been what 2 years and some change since I picked up a drink, and the thing was is that I knew how to have a good time without a drink. I knew how to have even a better time with a drink,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I always once I picked up the habit of drinking and dip and dabble with a little marijuana and things of that nature, it made me feel like I was more creative
Hmm.
because I started thinking deeper. But as I go on this journey of still not drinking and things of that nature and living a sober lifestyle, um, being sober allows me to be able to deal with those moments that I don't want to deal with, whether the business is not doing right or my personal life is not doing well. It's allowing me to sit in that space or that emotion without feeling I need to rely on something else to get me out of that mindset, that emotional space that we are all meant to feel when we are going through a happy moment, a sad moment. It's amazing. I just got my cousin had a wedding this past weekend, and it's amazing that we use alcohol for both things, whether we're celebrating or whether we're not as happy about either life or career or
Yeah.
whatever you have it. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but the thing is that I can go through life without having to celebrate or lean on something to keep me, I guess, elevated in an emotional state, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you don't need the substance to either
Create.
elevate you or make you think or make you go deeper to in your creative space, or you don't need that
Mhm.
outside source. You have it, from what I'm understanding and gathering, is that you have it inside and you know how to tap into that.
It's within, and the thing is that then I always relied on um, either outside sources or things of that nature to make me feel like I had it. But the thing is that we're all created with the ability. We just have to tap into it.
Tapping into it. And you have tapped into something that I've seen grow from just your mind
Mhm.
to the word to reality, and that's your brand, Cool Colored Generation. And
Cool
I want
color
to talk
kid, cool color kid.
Cool Color Kid Generation. Sorry, um,
That's all good.
it's
You
I'm
cool,
very
Mike? You
familiar.
cool?
I'm cool. I'm cool, man. And And we kind of talked about your past a little bit, but let's go back further. How did your past, your upbringing, or your environment influence the birth of Cool Color Kid Generation?
So okay, so when I was a kid, well, I still am a kid at heart. I was born deaf in my left ear, so nobody knows that I'm deaf in my left ear. I was born that way, and
Didn't know that.
so back then, I'm 41 now. I may not look like it. Back then in the 80s, when you had a disability, you were basically placed in special education.
Right.
So I always had this one teacher. Her name was Miss Bollinger, old white lady, and she used to always ask me. She would say, "Why are you in here? You're so smart." So mind you, I'm looking around and I see these physically handicapped individuals, and mind you, you're 6 or 7, and you're just like, she's telling me, "Why are you in here?" But then I'm looking around and I see everybody else, and I'm questioning myself. Am I good enough? Am I able to do what everybody says? Because back then, I was very artistic with my imagination and painting and drawing and creating things. So with all that creativity, fast forward and as I ventured out of special education and things of that nature, every opportunity, whether it was movie roles or going on Carnival Cruise or working on soap operas with Rihanna, I always questioned spaces and opportunities that I was in because I never felt as cool.
Mm.
Even though, women called me cute when I was younger, but I never really felt it because I was just always that special ed kid. Mentally, I was in a mental prison with questioning who I was, and then plus my father not being there in and out of jail, and my mother experienced him having alcohol. He was an alcoholic and very abusive as well to my mother and to me. So it kind of didn't make me feel as cool. So
Mm.
stop me if I'm taking up too much airtime. But
No, go ahead.
what
Be you,
led
man. We got time.
what led what led to this? Do you want me to go into the birth of the Cool Color Kid?
It's however you want to share your story and whatever
Okay,
you think
all
is
right, cool.
relevant. Go ahead, and do it. Yeah.
Got you. So from going through all of those experiences, like I said, being on soap operas, being on TV and film, and jingle writing and things of that nature, even though those opportunities I walked into those opportunities, I still second guessed every time I walked into those opportunities
Mm.
because of the mental prison that I was in, that I allowed myself to be in for many, many years based off of special education. So when I moved back home at the time, my biological father wasn't doing well. My stepfather, who I call my father, and my grandmother, which is 94 years old now, I'm the power of attorney of her, wasn't doing too well. So I had to make that switch on whether I wanted to stay in Los Angeles or go back home and be with my family because one, I didn't know how long they had. So I took that move. And in that movement, I dealt with a lot of depression because my mindset was still living in California. How am I going to be doing film and TV? And I'm here in Delaware. So with those opportunities, I dipped and dabbled back into alcohol. I was still being creative. Was on the first Creed movie as I had a small role in the Creed movie. It got cut, but you can still see my big head in the ring with Michael B. Jordan. You can just see my head. You can just see Michael,
Yeah.
and then my head is like overtowering him. So it's
Got a
like
little
this.
airtime.
So I'll be like, "Hold on, there I go, there I go. You see the head, you see the head." So other than that, so while being here, trying to figure out how to use my creativity, why I was here in Delaware, um, this idea that I had a long time ago when I was working for the Los Angeles Film Festival. A group of us, and I was the youngest at the time, working as a production assistant, and they were like, "What would you name a band for shock value?" I said, because I always had this idea. I said, "I'll name them the KKK," and they was like, "What?" Mind you, these are older men, black, white, Spanish. And it was like, I was like the cool colored kid. And I was like, if you put a whole bunch of cultures together, and if they're any good, and they could potentially make history. And also that name would create shock value. So that'd be crazy dope and we can make history. So because I was the youngest at the time, they persuaded me to drop the idea. Fast forward, I would say 2018, 17, the idea came back to me when I was working on production in Pennsylvania, off Broadway show, and I was watching this Gap commercial, and I saw these
Mhm.
kids bouncing around. You know, the Gap, they have people from different cultures, they have all these colors, and I was like, "Yo, Cool Colorful Kids! I'll do a clothing brand called Cool Colorful Kids." So my homie, he's still my homie right now, but he was like, "Bro, ain't nobody buying no clothes that say KKK on them." I was like, "No, we will have to like just create it in a way to where it will inspire people to think outside the box. You know, all the things that people say people shouldn't do, or when parents always tell their kids to think outside the box, and when they do that, they try to pull their kids back."
Mhm.
So I dropped that idea. I was watching this documentary on Netflix called Sam Cooke and the KKK. And I
Right.
was sitting in my living room of my mom's house at the time, and the light bulb came on. And mind you, this soap opera had me crying, and I was just like, I think this is it. Because mind you, I went to Philadelphia Art Institute, the New York Conservatory of Performing Arts, Pierce College, all for art stuff. So I was always surrounded around people that were creative. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna start a clothing brand. I don't even know. So that was the birth of the Kool Kolored Kid.
That was the first. Man, well, first and foremost, that's a great story. All right. And the way that you were able to connect all these ideas and this passion that you have from the past and bring it now is really great because what you're doing with this apparel and this brand and the meaning behind it is pretty great from what I'm seeing. So let me just ask you about the emotional and spiritual battles that you may be having with when you face people who say KKK is like that's something negative, but you're turning it to a positive and unifying brand. What are you facing when those kind of situations show up?
The great thing about it is that I end up educating people about the KKK. So in my back to schools, which is another leg of the Kool Kolored Kid brand, it's called 100 Pairs to Give, where
Yeah.
it's a community based initiative where we empower students before they go back to school. I'll go a little bit more into that, but how I counteract the negativity when I'm faced with people downplaying the Kool Kolored Kid is that then I hit them with education. I asked them, did you know the swastika is a symbol of peace? And then they'll be like, no, I didn't know. So then I educate them. I'll say, before the late 1930s, did you know that the swastika was a symbol of peace? It was a symbol of peace throughout the world. So then I
Right.
say, after the late 1930s, Adolf Hitler took that symbol and changed it to a symbol of hate. So then I'll say, if one man can take a symbol of peace and turn it to a symbol of hate, why can't I take a negative term and change it to a positive term to empower all people to think outside of the box?
And what follows up after
What follows up with that is, hmm, I
that?
didn't know that. So then they'll ask me more questions and why am I doing it and things of that nature. It's all to empower not only youth but adults that say in the middle of it all, it's change.
Hmm.
Sometimes we're always talking about how we can change this and change that, but when it seems too far left, we are led to believe by other people's opinion that we can't change it. And what's the
Yeah.
biggest saying that they always say? Uh, they'll always say it can't be changed until it's actually done. So I believe with the persistence and the consistency that I've been able to continue to put forth before individuals with a great team of people, including my fiance and a great host of individuals that also believe in um, what I want to achieve when it comes to empowering people to not only think outside of the box, but find your inner creative energy to put your ideas and put them on display to the world, and also find ways to take your ideas, your creativity, and not just to save it for yourself, but find ways to give it back to your community, find ways to not only empower yourself, but empower your family, empower everyone around you.
Here on the ThriveWell Journey, we talk a lot about not just surviving, but thriving. And a big part of that for me has been understanding my health on a deeper level. That's why I partnered with Live Good and brought it under my company, Orion's Health. Not just because I believe in the products, but because I've seen what they can do firsthand. I've walked through some hard health chapters in my life, including cancer and a kidney transplant. And I know what it feels like when your body's working against you. That's why we're offering 2 free tools that help me and can help you too. First, go to myfreehealthreport.com/Orion's Health. Take our quick health questionnaire and get a personalized report created by Dr. Ryan Goodkin, Live Good's Director of Product Development. It's clear, actionable, and totally free. Second, visit myfreedetox.com and get a free chlorophyll and zeolite detox bottle with your first product order. It's a gentle, natural way to clear out toxins and start fresh, something I personally use and stand behind. This isn't just a sponsorship, it's part of my mission through Orion's Health to help people thrive in body, mind, and spirit. Of course, always consult your physician before starting any new supplement or health regimen. Your body is unique, and your healthcare provider should always be part of the conversation. The links are in the show notes. Now tap in and take your next step toward thriving. What gave you the courage to continue to push forward? Like if somebody did, I know you had the naysayers, like this wouldn't work, like your boy said, this is people are not gonna wear, KKK on the clothes. Uh, what gave you the courage to push forward?
What gives me the courage to continue to push forward is because of all the ideas that are birthing by just saying yes and taking a step to Kool Kolored Kid Generation, as far as the mascot, Cooley. That was all just an idea. And to be able to see um, this special ed kid from the second smallest state in America to have an idea, and then we had these big brands being like, oh, so they want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of that too. So just by seeing different brands want to be a part of this, and they see the power of cool and what it's doing to not only the youth but also the parents. A lot of parents also said, "Is this brand for kids?" And I always say, "No, this brand is for adults as well." And they'll say, "It's for kids." I say, "No." I said, "I kept kid because I'm speaking to the kid inside of you." Life can throw so much at us that we lose that kid inside of us. So I never want you to lose that cool color kid inside of you.
Yeah, I see you. Everything, all the things that you put up are posted on social media, and the energy that you're bringing to your brand is unlike any other. And it's like a true purpose-driven mission that you have, and you're really transforming a generation with your thought. Now you have a saying, and where is that? I wrote it down here.
Be the change,
I
be
want
the change.
what? Not no, it's something different.
We must be
It
visible.
says
We must be visible.
no, it's a responsibility to become great at whatever you
Oh
do.
yeah.
What do you mean by that, personally?
Um, a lot of individuals will look at this and say that it's just like with anybody when you look at Beyonce and all those individuals, and you'll be like, oh, anybody can get up there and sing. Anybody can
Mm,
get up there and be a politician. Anybody can run a podcast. But it's a responsibility even when you don't feel like doing the podcast, even when you don't feel like creating the post, even when you don't feel like smiling because you're on your eighth event and you feel like you smiled yourself out of all these events, and you don't really feel like talking to people. It's a responsibility to show up, because if not many, it's always one person looking at you and saying, wow, all right, cool, how can I continue to push forward?
mhm.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. I see it. I see that as we're representatives of what we're bringing to the world, right? And even if we're not feeling like doing whatever it is that we're bringing to the world, show up, because it is a responsibility, especially when your mission is kind of mission that you have. It is a
But
responsibility,
we're operating in spaces where we're visible. So the thing, if you don't
yeah,
want to be visible, stay behind the scenes.
and that's
When
okay.
you are visible, and that's okay. And I know individuals that are behind the scenes people, and yes, they still have responsibilities, but they're not held accountable when they're as visible as we are.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So, since we're talking about kind of the depths of the levels of who we are as people, reclaiming the symbol like the swastika or the term like KKK, what does that mean to you at a soul level?
At a soul level, what does it mean to me by changing it? Creating history. In some way, shape, or form, there has been so many individuals that have reclaimed or reshaped the way we think, not only just in America but around the world. And it sometimes it takes individuals to just be brave to really step into that. And trust me, before before I embarked on this, trust me, I started thinking about all the wrong scenarios that could happen by taking this leap into it, like, oh my gosh, I gotta do a trademark and then people get to see my address. So who's gonna come behind my house? Or
Hmm.
the KKK not too far from here. They might pull up. You know? But the thing is that we as individuals, when we are faced with those thoughts and things of that nature, I mean, you have to think. Uh, um, Martin Luther King, a lot of Mahatma Gandhi, all these individuals probably like thought about the things that could go wrong. But the thing is that when we are given I guess the switch or the light bulb to say, should I? And then we take that step. Um, Dang, I just lost train of thought. What was the question again?
No, so yeah, at a
I
soul
was hoping I
level,
was answering your question. Yeah, at a soul
you
level, yes, that's what. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, no. If you caught it, go ahead. You can finish. You remember?
No.
So at a soul level, yeah. So what does it mean for you to change the term like KKK or
There we go.
symbol?
There we go. So yeah, that's my thought on the soul level, is being able to just create a generational ripple effect that can leave a lasting impact on culture.
Do you see that happening now? The shift in the mentality of the
Slowly, slowly, slowly but surely.
slowly but surely.
Slowly
Um,
but surely.
well, your life is a story. You're a storyteller, right? Through acting and things like that. And do you see that your program or your apparel is like storytelling, and your brand having the ability to change the perception of people?
Yes, that's what I intend to do with the commercials that are on my website. I tend to not only inform individuals about the brand, but really get them to ask themselves a question, in a sense of their creativity, their ambitions, and things of that nature. Even with Cooley, even with 100 Pair to Give, everything is a story. You just have to find the story in it.
Hmm.
Not only is there a story about my life, but there's a story in what America has done to a certain group of individuals. There's a story that happened in Germany that wiped out an entire generation. There's a story in empowering individuals to change. There's a story in a person that was a Nazi and now he's a Christian. There's a story everywhere in finding the cool in you and understanding the power that you have whenever you walk into a room. There's a story everywhere, not only in this brand, but in each person that wears the clothing.
With the way that you use Cooley, do you think that's like walking the fine line between provoking thought and honoring the pain of the past?
Well, when you have pain, you got to bring joy too.
Mm.
You have to bring joy because when I first created the brand, my first thought was change the world.
Hmm.
Change the world, right? So with Cooley, he is the world. The thing is that we are empowering the cool in you to look at your person on your right and your left and realize that each and every one of us are cool in our own way.
And that whole idea came to you, especially when you were in special, like your special classes and things like that.
No, no, no. That idea came. This Kool Kolored Kid came further than that. What I mean by with being in special ed is that I didn't feel cool at that
You didn't
time,
feel cool,
but
right?
I didn't feel cool. So the thing is that even with changing your mindset with Kool Color Kid, I had to change my mindset while transitioning out of those classes and things of that nature. So it's all about finding the power in you to step from either your past or your present into something that can lead you towards your destination.
I love that. That's good. That's good. Now you have the mascot, and you're doing all this amazing stuff with Cool Color Kid Generation. Now, we talked to a lot of entrepreneurs and things like that. Give me one of your early failures that taught you something crucial about building a business. You said, I mean, you didn't know anything about apparel at first, but you figured it out, right?
No, I'm still figuring it out because one
Well,
thing
yeah.
I'm learning, yeah, I'm still figuring it out because one thing as I continue to be around a lot of other inspiring entrepreneurs, someday hot dog and someday it's steak. And,
I've never heard that before. But
yo, someday hot dog, someday steak, bro.
okay, I hear you. I hear
But
you.
what I'm learning is that it's a never-ending learning process because each and every day our world is changing. Like, look at the tariffs. Like, I didn't know anything about tariffs. Now I have to find time to understand tariffs, and it's just never-ending. But one of the biggest mistakes that I made was being so gung ho about my first logo. Like I'm sitting here telling people about change, but I didn't want to change this logo. And it took someone from my my high school alumnus. We grew up together in the Boys and Girls Club, but he lives in Tampa Bay, Florida. And he was digging the concept, but he just told me flat out, he was like, bro, I don't know about that logo.
Was it
This is
bad?
my first. See, I was so gung ho about it. It was 3Ks and a diamond.
Okay.
3K, it was like this 3Ks and a diamond. He was like, bro, I don't know about it. I was so gung ho. I mean, nobody couldn't tell me anything. I was just like, no, the logo's staying. And
Hmm.
it took me by commissioning this artist for an idea that I wanted to put on a wall on a one of the buildings. And this dude, I thought he was trying to upsell me, man. And I thought he was trying to upsell me because he added some extra stuff on it. I was like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. So then he had chopped off the ends of the K's and stuff like that, and he created this logo. And I was like, bro, I didn't ask for no logo. I just asked for you to draw this. Like I had sketched it up, but I needed an artist to refine it.
Hmm.
So then it kind of I kept looking at it. I was like, man, I don't want this logo. But I showed my lady, and she was like, that's it. And then other people was like, that's it, bro. That's it. And after a while, it grew on me. And my boy sat me down and he told me the reason why those 3Ks and a diamond wouldn't work because he was like, bro, you're trying to change something. But the thing is, in a lot of eyes, that's not changing it. It's actually staring right in people's faces. But also on top of that, um, you don't want to make this brand about the Ks. Because if anything, you're making effort to change it, but the thing is that you want to let individuals know that it's not about the K's, and nobody owns the letter K's unless you start putting things behind it. That's when you can own that letter K, but nobody owns the letter K's. And I was
Right.
like, you're right, bro. So that was the defining moment that sometimes the ideas that you have, be open to suggestions. Um, and then also sometimes when you do have that suggestion in front of you, just set it down and keep taking a look at it. And it may be the perfect fit for you to move forward. Because I guarantee you, if I still would have had those 3Ks, bro, I'd still be like, I'm on my fifth year with no sales.
Yeah. But
So be
things,
open,
think,
open for suggestions.
say again,
I said just be open for suggestions.
be open
I'm
for
still learning.
suggestions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as a entrepreneur, sometimes we get so married to our ideas, and we think that that's what's going to make things work the way that we think it's going to work in our minds, but
Right.
that's not
Right.
reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But be open for suggestions. And as a creative entrepreneur, how do you balance your artistic vision with, financial sustainability? Like,
Say that again.
as a creative entrepreneur, how do you balance artistic vision with financial sustainability?
Oh man, I spearhead majority of all my creative endeavors because I know how to edit, produce, jingle write, voiceover work, um, draw, Final Cut Pro, Photoshop. A lot of it balancing. I'm not quite sure if I understand that question. I'm trying to. Are you saying how do I balance the artistic vision with the
With
financial?
with your financial stability. So, as a creative entrepreneur, we tend to spend so much time on the artistic stuff and spend more money on the artistic stuff that we don't do we don't deal with financial stability well. So there's a fine
Mhm,
line with understanding, your creativity with your financial understanding
mhm,
as well.
mhm. Yeah, I deal with that. I'm still learning how to balance it. We're in a great spot because when I first opened the business, everything was just thrown into all the ideas that I had to make
Hmm.
people want to be a part of this journey. But when I first started the brand, I took a entrepreneur class on how to write a business proposal because at first I was always just seeing people of color being real. They have ideas and they just throw them out to the world, not without getting trademarks, not with giving themselves proper education on business plans, banking setups, um, just different things to prepare them if they talk to a bank, if they talk to a business partner, if they want investors and things of that nature. So before I even started the brand, I took an entrepreneurial class that helped set up meetings and things of that nature. My first year, still understanding the creativity with the financials was very hard for me because I was spending a lot of money making it look good
Hmm.
until my second year. Um, the program I was a part of, which is called Launcher, here in Delaware, they do a reassessment and they stay with you along this journey of being an entrepreneur. If you need help with finances, if you need to learn how to get grants and also how to write proposals and things of that nature, they really set me up for success when I constantly do my check-ins with them on what I need help with.
So you reached out for your support.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I still reach out to business mentors when I feel like either, say for instance, for my partnerships and things of that nature, I've reached out to other individuals that already had partnerships with them to better understand because, mind you, I never was in a partnership with a conglomerate company. So I wanted to be prepared before I walked in the room and understand how I need to set up my numbers in order for us to come to an equilibrium, a solid agreement. And then that comes with finding right lawyers, just surrounding yourself with great individuals that not only want to see you grow, but make sure you get the necessary tools and education that you have to move forward.
Yeah. Well, I see. I was going to ask. There's two questions in there I was going to ask you about. One is I see you really connecting with and partnering with individuals in your city or your state and around. How do you choose which ones you're going to partner with,
That's a
especially
great
with your
question
mission?
because That's a great question because whenever I vet, wherever I vet or they vet me, I make sure we have to see this. We have to have the same alignment, and one that's empowerment, one that's seeing the empowerment of youth, one that's building up the community as a whole, and one shining light on this piece of change within ourselves, change. Within our community. So those are some key things that I look for, not just names of brands, because there's been a few brands where we just don't align. Yeah, it would look crazy dope if we was partnered, but we just don't align. And one thing is, I don't want to get in bed with something that I'm really not prepared to deal with, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the same the alignment from vision to vision or purpose to purpose or mission to mission,
Mhm.
it wouldn't work.
Yeah. And some people think, oh, because they have the brand and they have the name recognition, why wouldn't you want to partner with them? And it's like, no, we slow and steady wins the race. This is not about how fast we can get to the finish line because they're a bigger brand than I am. The thing
Hmm.
is that I have to see where I want to go with my brand and where that finish line looks like. But also, just because they're more established doesn't mean that that's a great fit.
That's true. That is very true. And it's up to you, being the CEO, the entrepreneur, creative, the person that knows the brand, to know when the person the partnership that you're looking for is in alignment or not. So that's good to be able to see that. And and in that brand, you're talking about empowering a generation, right? Through change. What does that look like in your day-to-day work?
Mhm. Empowering change. So my day to day, yo, I wear a lot of hats, right? I'm
Yeah, I
not
know.
talking about the physical hats. I
I
wear
know.
a
I know what you
lot
mean.
of hats,
Well, both
and
probably.
yeah, um, my day to days are very different, but very enlightening because not only am I the chair of the Student Visionaries of the Year with the nationwide nonprofit Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, but I also sit on a few committees. I no longer sit on a board, but it varies because I have a 5-year old and I also have an 18-year-old and I have a fiance. So my day to day operations vary based off of what needs to go out, what do I have time for, um, what do I need to make space for right then and there. So it's kind of hard to like really tell you what the day to day looks like, but I know that I try not to start my day with business. I try to start my day with either prayer, sitting and having time to myself before I actually really start my day. Because usually when I start, I stay in a tunnel. I stay in a tunnel and I stay focused, and that may be with emails, making sure certain sales projections that we've created for the month, email marketing, commercials, social media, um, um, uh, with Cooley, making sure his schedule is aligned with mine because majority of the events that he goes to, um, I'm right there. I'm his buddy. So basically, there's some things in the future that we will be creating where we will be showing how close of buddies we are in the entertainment space. But it varies with so much. Where are we going to have the 100 pair to give event? Making sure I staying in great communication with my stakeholders and things of that nature. So
Hmm.
scheduling is the biggest thing with family, business, coolie, community-based events, traveling experiences with other companies. It varies. I don't think I have a strict day to day, but definitely when I wake up in the morning, it's definitely I try not to think about business first.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the first thing that I do is, first it's always gratitude. Even though if I don't feel like waking up at 5:20, which is between 5 and 5:20, I wake up every morning,
Yeah,
and that's because just my days just
yeah,
it's they go long and it still don't feel like it's enough, right? Um,
right,
but the best thing I do for myself is just wake up with gratitude. Get take the dog out. We do a mile, and just work on the self, the inside,
right,
and meditate and all that good stuff, and then get into the day. So I think
right.
that's what helps me
hmm
for
it
sure.
helps me. It helps me a lot because sometimes when I wake up in the morning and I go straight to business, oh, I forgot to send out that email. Oh my gosh, I got to do this.
Yep.
Sometimes it creates chaos not only within, but it creates chaos within my household sometimes.
Yeah, and there's no room for that. And you were
No
talking,
room
man,
for it.
your journey, man. I was looking at some of the things that I didn't know about you. Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign,
hmm
drugfreeworld.org, and on, you're in multiple Good magazine campaign.
hmm hmm
Um, yeah, the 2025 Excellence in Public Service Award, 2024 Mill Summit Impact Award, and others. 40 under 40. Man, you've accomplished a good number of things.
hmm
Even before you said you're 40, you're 41 now.
hmm
Before you turn 40, how does that
hmm
feel?
Actually, to be honest with you, I never really celebrate when those things happen.
Why
And
is
I was
that?
talking to my because the thing is that awards don't excite me.
Hmm.
Awards don't necessarily excite me. It's great. You know what? Let me stop because some people will probably take this wrong. Um, it's always great to be acknowledged for those things, but they really don't. Those things don't like. Oh my gosh, I got an award. It's just they just don't. And my lady said I need to learn how to stop and like smell the roses sometimes because as soon as I get that award, I'm back to work. You
Yeah.
know, so one actually a business the CEO from another company, he said, "Hey, you should sign up to win this award." And then I was like, "Hold on, what you mean sign up to win an award? You gotta like." He was like, "Yeah, you have to put in to win this award." And I was like, "That sounds so kind of weird to sign yourself up to win an award." And I was like, "So for the past 7 months, I've been sitting on this like." Who signs themselves up to win an award? I was like, oh, okay, thank you. But yeah, I really don't like stop and smell the roses when that stuff happens. When I'm actually like in the moment with everybody being there and stuff like that, I'm very grateful for it. But they really don't, they don't do anything for me.
I think when I look back, from, I don't know, middle school on to even university and beyond, like when I would get awards for running track, like, I mean, just bags of awards, right? Like I was like that. It didn't do anything for me. It
Mhm.
was like, okay, this is cool. Got these medals, got these ribbons, got these trophies, got, all this stuff, right? And
Right,
it was the joy for me was just winning the race, right?
right,
And then if you get a award for it, okay, that's cool. All right, next, and then
right.
I'm back to training, doing things like that. So
Mhm.
what I think is a good shift, though, is that you acknowledge that you're being acknowledged, and then take a moment. and then get back to it.
Right.
Your lady told you, gave you some good instruction.
Yeah, she was just like, just take it in, like learn to just like take it in and then, get back to work. But yeah, that's one thing I'm working on is this not only just doing the work, but like really sit back and say, yo, you're you're doing something here. But I like to
Yeah.
say God has given me the ability to do something here.
Hmm. You know, you were we're talking. You have a community give back. You talked about it earlier, the 100 Pairs to Give initiative. Um,
Mhm.
why is that so integral and central to your business model?
So me, I'm from Southbridge, Wilmington, Delaware, and that is a projects in Wilmington, Delaware that's basically considered the mud. When I came back and when I created these pair of sneakers, I was in my old neighborhood and they knocked down all of our projects. I mean the swimming area, all that. And I was looking around and I was seeing all these kids and I was just like, Dad, there's nothing like when I was a kid growing up. It didn't matter how poor we was, we had each other like because we was playing out in the streets. It didn't matter which we was playing basketball in the milk cartons, stuff like that. And I was just looking around. And I was like, Dad, these kids, they're not inspired by anything. So with that, I said, how can I inspire kids to take their creativity and give it back?
Hmm.
So I came up with 100 pairs to give, where each and every year we give away 100 pair of my brand sneakers um, to kids going back to school. And I've been able to each and every year double it up. So the first year we gave 100 pair. The second year, we still gave 100 pair, but we wanted to give 100 pair of something else. So I partnered with Nerded Cares to give away 100 refurbished laptops in our second year.
Nice.
The third year, which was last year, we outdid ourselves because in order to empower kids to think outside of the box and then also dream big, I want to show kids what dream big looks like. So we did 300 last year. So not only did we do 100 pair of sneakers, we did the 100 laptops again. I pitched the idea to Wisfis Bank to give away 100 savings accounts that had $50 to empower financial literacy. We also partnered with the Moore Children's Health to give away 100 duffel bags with a whole bunch of back to school essentials and things of that nature. So not only are we giving essential things back to kids going back to school, but we are empowering them to get back to their community. Because one thing in my community growing up, we had this thing called Storm and Norman Classics. It was a basketball summer league that every kid couldn't wait to get their hands on. And
Hmm.
I wanted to create a feeling like that for kids to, they can't wait for 100 pairs to give to come back around, that feeling of inspiration and that spark of wanting to go back to school, making it fun to go back to school and learn and pick up some valuable tools to take with them on their journey was really key for me and showing a different form of empowerment besides just sports. I wanted to, because we all know we got a lot of kids that love sneakers these days, and not a
Hmm.
lot of people give back sneakers to go back to school and other essentials. So I always want to have an idea of doing something a little different outside of the box than any other particular back to school giveaway.
Man, I saw that that you had encouraged your bank to give bank accounts with $50 in the savings account away.
Mhm.
I thought that was one of the most powerful things that I've seen in a long time. And how did that come about? And what was was the initial response? Yeah, let's do this, or how was that whole? Tell me, give me that story.
Bro, with the confidence of getting through all the no's with Kool Kolored Kid Generation and my
Hmm.
back to schools of writing proposals and sponsorship decks and stuff like that, and getting a lot of people to say no, I would say after that second back to school, and you're actually getting all these big sponsors and stuff like that, you kind of build up this this mindset of confidence that I can speak to anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of build up this confidence that I can speak to anybody. Not
Yeah.
saying you just build up that confidence. It's just like going after casting directors. After you get that big casting director, I can speak to any casting director.
Yeah.
I had this idea, and I was like, what could I do different? So I end up hitting up that the head that oversees that department, and I asked for a meeting. And she made some time for me, and I pitched to her. She was like, "Yo, we've never done like nothing like this before, ever,
Right.
and
That's
we've
when
been
I
around
first
for."
seen it.
She was like, "We've never done anything like this." But here's the caveat: kids just didn't get $50 in their savings accounts. We also created classes for them to take, one class a month for 45 minutes to show them how to grow that $50. And then over the course of those 3 months, they had to put $50 of their own money in it to unlock the $50 that we already gave them. And their parents had no access to their accounts.
Oh, wow. That gives them more responsibility, understanding of the dollar and the whole banking situation.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty unique, man. I like that. And I mean, you come up with a whole bunch of uniqueness, with just from the idea itself. Who comes up with your designs, the colors, the patterns, all that? Is that you, or is it you have someone else to do
All
it
me.
for you?
All
All
me.
you.
All me.
Oh wow, man.
All me. But
That's
I'm
pretty dope.
praying one day to get a department, different departments that cater to different cultures. So we can really cater to different cultures, because a lot of different cultures be like, yo, that'd be dope in my country color, man. So it's like one day I dream to have different departments that will not only cater to the unity of the world, but also cater to different cultures, to what they like to wear, and to be able to put some cool in their culture.
Yeah. What role does culture, heritage, and identity play in the visual side of your brand?
That is a amazing question. That's a great question. I've never been asked that. Basically, what I hear from what you're saying is how does identity um, play well with the brand? How does culture shape the brand as a whole?
How does your culture, yeah, your heritage of the identity of your brand, how does that play? Just how it shows in public in the visual side of the brand.
Hmm. I'm very conscious on how it plays on the visual side. At sometimes we do miss the mark in some of our marketing, which I identify sometimes after it, and but that's just a learning process, because this brand is always it's going to continue to evolve. I'm not quite sure. I may even have to change the name of Kool Kolored Kid just slightly, um, to keep everything consistent. But it plays a vital role in how this brand can evolve, and something I believe that by the time it gets to the place where God wants it to be at, I would just be like, yo, I did not see this coming. But culture is like one of the biggest. I'm hope I'm answering your question, because I'm trying to like think about it as well, because that is a great question.
Yeah, and it may be something that you may need to sit with and figure out, as you're because it sounds like there's some evolution that needs to take place,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
within, and
Hmm.
so you know maybe that question will impart some idea for
Absolutely.
whatever you're transforming into. So, I mean, I'm sure you've learned about yourself. What is it that you've learned about yourself as a leader since you launched this movement? And I know some of you talked about, especially you can talk to anybody now.
What's that? What's
I
that?
said, especially now that you said you can talk to anybody. What else have you learned after launching this movement?
It's continue. It's so cool to be different. When you walk into the room, it's so good to add, it's so cool to add a little color that they say that we don't normally see men in that color, but hey, it look good on you. Um, it's so cool to show kids something different. It's so cool to enlighten an adult that thought otherwise. Because sometimes we live in a generation where even these adults don't even read, or they tend to not dive deeper when it says learn more about us. So it's also given me grace to be patient with the timing of things, um, learning new workflows, learning to be patient with other people's processes, because sometimes the speed I work on, not everybody else works on the same speed. So I have to learn to be patient, that people are not on my same speed.
Yeah. So those are good lessons to learn. A couple more questions here for you, Rand. How do you define success today versus when you first started, or has it changed?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Um, I used to battle with this thing called success.
Mm.
I used to battle with the idea of what it actually looks like, because I never seen it growing up. Of course, you see it on TV with other people, but there's no one. There's probably a few, but they're in different spaces than I am, um, that have had success. But I'm still learning to understand that thing called success. It's just, I think that also ties in with winning awards. It's like a lot of people will um, tie your success to awards, and I'm just like, but anybody can make an award and just say, "Hey, here you go." So I'm
Yeah,
still,
I like that.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean. Anybody can
yeah.
say, "Hey, here you go. You got the you're a roundaway cat award," and
Award.
then you get on LinkedIn. Like, bro, you got a lot of
Runaway cat.
awards around your block. Yo, bro, like you doing it. So everybody has their definition of success, but it has changed and it continues to change. Um, with my fiance being in my life, she's also constantly reminding me that there's always different forms and ways to look at success. So before her, my idea of success was money, material things, but with her and learning through reading and continue to learn to empower myself, that those aren't necessarily, that's not definitely eventually the definition of what success is: family, you're alive, you're inspiring individuals, you're learning, you're growing. So it's still taking shape. I can't give you the answer you're looking for, but yeah, it's still, I'm still learning what
No,
that
that's the
looks
answer
like.
I'm looking for. The answer I'm looking for
Yeah,
is what it is to you and for you.
yeah,
And success means different things for different people. I think,
right.
well, I'll even answer for myself. Like for success for me was, having that big house and that fancy car and all that. The outside service,
Material.
material kind of, oh, this is what success looks like because that person has this and that's not what it is for me anymore. It's a fulfillment that I look for. It's the service that I give, and the byproducts of that may be, the car, the house, and all that kind of good stuff. But the success is the fulfillment, of actually living my purpose in the world. And
Hmm.
so again, but it changed. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
it's ever evolving. But it's not the material thing that
Hmm.
makes me do and inspires me to do what I do. Um, one last question for you. This last moment on the podcast, what's on your heart that you would love to share to somebody that's listening or watching the podcast?
I would say definitely take that step into what you want to do, even if you don't know how to do it. There are a lot of things that has evolved from Kool Kolored Kid that I didn't know how to do. Like I didn't know I was going to design a mascot and be in the mascot space now. Learning from NBA teams, NFL teams, NHL teams, MLB teams. I didn't know it, but when it was given to me, I had to learn how to do it. I didn't know how to do back to schools. I knew I just wanted to inspire. I just did it. I didn't know how to do this little thing I do every Tuesday called Cool as You Are, going around asking people what makes you cool. Just words surrounding cool. Just do it, and don't overthink it because sometimes we'll tend to ask ourselves, "How can I do it?" But lo and behold, all you have is all you need and right around you. This thing I always tell kids, you got this little thing called a cell phone. If they can make a movie on a cell phone, you can make a podcast, you can make a commercial, you can make a reel. You can find a way to get your word out. Look for the answers, and then don't be afraid to just take a lot of risks because when I say I've taken a lot of risks and I'm still taking a lot of risks, I know it's easier said than done because I used to always be like, it's easy for you to say you're successful now. But
Right.
the thing is that it's so true that now that I look back, that I used to always like, wow, they saying it because they are successful.
Hmm.
But I'm also that everybody's journey is different from yours. So do your best, even if you are working harder, even if you stand up later than that person, or even if you know more than that person. Um, see how that person is doing it, and then also on top of that, try not to compare how you're doing it because the thing is, if you're in it for longevity, um, you got to keep continue. There are some people here for a moment, and there are some people here for longevity. But the thing is that you got to see where you want to be. Do you want this to stay around for a lifetime, to where your kids could benefit from this, or do you just want that 15 minutes of fame, get that quick money? But also make it not about the money. Make it about the impact because the bigger the impact, potentially the bigger the momentum, and I'm assuming the money will come with that. So, but other than that, don't compare your journey, but because comparison is the killer of creativity.
Man, you said it right there. Actually, I did a solo podcast on that, so I totally agree. And everything that you have said, man, is really powerful and is in line with living. Just continue to live your best life, and just move forward with your ideas, your dreams, your passion, your purpose. And the thing that you said is, don't compare yourself to anyone else. So that's
Hmm.
powerful. How do people get your products, man? How do they get to your
You can
shirts
go.
and your shoes and your hats and everything that you sell?
Yeah, all that's going to evolve too. I can't wait for that to evolve. You can go on coolgeneration.com, cool with a K, generation.com. Follow us on social media, Kool Kolored Kid Generations. IG is Cool K Kid Gen. 100 pairs to give is 100 pairs two, number two, GIV. Cool World Mascot is Cool World Mascot on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And you can follow your boy, Randall Law, on social media, Facebook and Instagram.
Nice, nice, sir. And everything that you said we'll have in the description so that people can just click on the link and get to where you are. Man, this has
Oh yeah,
been
follow us on YouTube, Kool Kolored Kid Generation. I got to get that thing going too. I mean, I got to stay consistent with that. It's just, but Kool Kolored Kid Generation on YouTube. We have so much content. It's crazy.
on YouTube as well. Okay, cool. So we'll make sure you have that in the we'll have that in the description. But man, I tell you, it's just phenomenal over the years that you've done what you've done. You created what you created, and you evolved into the person that you are today through your grit, through your vision, through just believing in yourself. And what I would tell people that are watching or listening, you know, Randall Law is a testament to you can become who you see yourself becoming, you know? So, Rand, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And the question of the week is based on what our conversation was, is if you could reclaim one word, one label, or one symbol to turn into something empowering, what would it be and why? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your voice. Rand, thank you, man, for being on the podcast. Appreciate you.
Yo, we in the building. Thank you, homie. I appreciate you. Continue to keep shining.
Before you go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of the ThriveWell Journey. Every time you show up here, you're choosing growth, clarity, and the deeper work of becoming who you're meant to be in this world. And if you're ready to reconnect with what truly lights you up, I created something powerful that can help you. It's called the Empowered Path, 7 days to reclaim your purpose and passion. It's a beautifully designed, guided workbook that walks you through a week of powerful prompts, clarity building tools, and real mindset shifts. Now, you can get instant access to it today. It's a small investment for a huge return. Your energy, your clarity, your alignment. And if you want to take it deeper, check this out. I'm offering a limited number of free 30-minute purpose coaching sessions. No pressure, no pitch, just space for you to reconnect with your direction, your gifts, and what's next. So you can grab the guide and book your session at the link in the show notes. Let's not just go through the motions, let's really walk this path on purpose. I appreciate you. And like we always say, let's make thriving our new normal. And I'll talk to you soon.